Yeah, also, we're on Facebook Live right now, so
Okay.
that's what that is, and probably.
Yeah, and it's being recorded.
What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and we're back, and we're back, and we're back.
Yeah.
Episode number 30. We actually recorded this one on the tail end of Jason Hall's, right?
Correct.
So we went 28 to 30. That's because by the time this one comes out, we will have interviewed candidate Andrew Yang.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something we're pretty excited about, pretty nervous about. So hopefully this one breaks up and we can kind of have a good laugh about comedy.
So just for the record, if you see this on Facebook, I didn't wear the same clothes like weeks apart.
Yeah, no, literally.
It was the same day.
You know, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
I never, because I don't switch up my wardrobe that often, as much as I would like. I just bought this hoodie,
Right.
and I've worn it 3 days, and I've only owned it for 3.5.
I feel you.
Yeah,
I would have done the same thing.
So, all right, if you're checking us out, please take a minute to go check out our website, www.thedetroitlocal.com. Please, I'm begging you, go buy a shirt. We just paid our podcast studio fees, and we need some money coming in.
Right.
So just straight up buy a T-shirt.
Shirt money.
Yeah, need that. So, and show money. And because we...
That's right.
Anyway, so joining us today for episode number 30, an individual who I recently had the pleasure of seeing perform, stand-up comedian in the city of Detroit, Mr. Kyle Forsyth.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
What's up,
that's
brother?
me. Not much, man. Staying busy.
Yeah?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's what you
It's,
want to do.
Yeah, it's the time of year for me to stay real busy
Right.
between all the projects that I got going on right now.
Absolutely. We're going to definitely dive into that. You're coming on at a pretty good time. I bet we are going to have more downloads and listens to this one. Everyone being like, oh, man, they just interviewed Andrew Yang. Let's find out who Kyle Forsyth is. I bet he's also running for president or something. And then
yeah,
it's like,
they'd be wrong. Yeah, no. That's out of my wheelhouse. I dropped out of community college. I don't think they're accepting me anytime soon.
I don't think any of that stuff matters anymore.
not anymore, it doesn't.
Yeah,
But-
I guess.
You just got to be 35, basically, right? Isn't that and born in America?
Yeah, I think that's the qualification.
Mhm.
And even both
basically
of
at
those
this
are probably
point.
flexible at this point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, man. So I actually got to check out your show. I think it's part of the 313 comedy at the Detroit Shipping Company.
Yeah, I help run that show every week. It's every Sunday at Detroit Shipping Company at 8 p.m. And we do that upstairs in the Bridge Lounge there. Yeah, we've been doing that since last June, I believe. We started it the week after they opened, so we've been there since the inception of that place, essentially. And yeah, we do it there every single week. We have different lineups every week. Then occasionally we have just weird, unique, special shows and stuff, ticketed events where we bring somebody in from out of town and we get bigger headliners and stuff who have bigger credits and everything.
Word.
I think one of those is the one that you saw me at, if I'm correct. It's the one where we had Mr. rapping there. And then we also had Brooke Van Poplin and Julian Villard closing it out, doing some musical comedy.
Yep.
That was a special show. That's one of those ones that we don't usually do often. Usually it's just straight stand-up comedy, and it's a showcase, and we have a lot of local
I enjoyed the
comics.
comedians. I enjoyed the comedians. There was you, and I wish I could remember the gentleman's name.
E.J. Watson.
EJ, he was hilarious.
He's very funny. Yeah, he's a good dude. He runs a show every Wednesday, and it's at Cobb's Corner Bar in Detroit.
Google
right,
it.
It's what is the area?
I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
I don't know, man. I can't remember the name of the area of Detroit. All of a sudden, now I'm blanking.
But
on
it's
it,
on
and
the
I
corner
shouldn't have.
somewhere.
Yeah, it's right by Royale with cheese and Treat Dreams.
Oh,
and stuff.
Midtown.
Yeah,
Cass Corridor.
Cass Corridor.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I wanted to say.
Yeah, we don't call it Midtown here.
Cass
Yeah.
Corridor is what I want to call it, and I couldn't come up with a word. But yeah, he runs that there every Wednesday.
All
And it's
right,
an open mic.
So how did you get started doing stand-up comedy? Because when I think Detroit, I don't think of it as usually being a stand-up comedy. There are a lot of improv places here, but I feel like there's not really a stand-up comedy. This is something that you're building, in my mind, ground up.
Yeah, a little bit. I think over the past few years is when our independent scene has started to build, and it's sort of from my understanding, is right around when I started doing stand-up is when that independent scene started happening.
Yeah, as
And
soon
that's
as
not
I
like-
got involved,
No,
that's
yeah,
when it got
I know
tight
what
as hell.
I know that's what it sounds like, and I knew like
Same thing with
saying
podcasting,
it.
bro.
Yeah, but
Me
it's
and
like
Kari started. Now look at it.
was like-
It's a huge thing now.
I guess it was just like I'm not attributing it to myself. It's just like I guess around that time is when a bunch of like newer comics started trying to like run independent shows outside of the clubs and everything. And it was just like a new breed of comics that started all around that time. There's like a bunch of comics who've been doing it for around like 5 to 6 years now in that sort of range. And
that's still like novice.
yeah,
in
that's where I'm
the
at.
comedy world, right?
Yeah, oh, very much so. That's where I'm at. And that group of comics, basically, we all started wanting to get more stage time. There wasn't enough stage time. We realized there's clubs.
Let it out, bro.
Yeah. There's clubs, and the clubs can only give you so much work, really. Like, there's an open mic once a week that everybody in the state pretty much calls
Right.
in to try and get up on.
Right.
And then, like, plus new people who've never done it before on top of that. So the chances of you getting on are slim to none.
Yeah,
And
we don't
there's-
really have stand-up clubs.
We have
either.
Mark Ridley's here in Royal Oak, which is down the road from
Yeah,
here,
okay.
just around the corner.
There's one in Livonia, right?
Nope, not anymore. That was Joey's. That was the first place I ever went
My
up
bad.
at. That was the first place I ever did stand up at. First place I ever did a weekend at. And they're closed
First time I ever
now.
bombed at.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first time I went up, so probably. Yeah,
No worries,
I don't
man.
think my first time was honestly that bad. Thankfully, now that I look at it, because like I've seen some pretty bad first bombs, you know, and it's like I look back at that set and being honest with myself, I don't think it was terrible, but I've
Right.
definitely bombed hard since then.
Yeah.
Like it's, but yeah, I definitely bombed there at times.
What are
but-
is there any time that you bombed where you just got off and you're like, Jesus, like I'm not doing stand-up comedy anymore. Like this is maybe I should just go back to school. Maybe I should go back to community college.
Almost
run for
every
president.
every night I think that
Yeah.
whether I bomb or not, I'm like maybe I should quit. Like, and then I'm like I can't
Dude,
I can't
preaching to
quit
the
that. Like I
choir.
can't do it. Like
Right.
it's like I know internally I can't quit this. Like and it's just that thought that I have every now and again thinking that I should. But like there's been I think the worst bomb I ever had was in Whitmore Lake. Which is like by
I couldn't even find Whitmore Lake.
by Brighton, Ann Arbor, somewhere in between
If
there.
you're gonna
basically.
bomb in the middle of nowhere. That's
Yeah,
what I always say. Yeah.
It was and the place is called Captain Joe's Bar and Grill.
course it is.
Yeah. So I'm performing there. I'm featuring that night, and it was one of my first times featuring.
Is that like you go
honestly.
on second for a
That's-
headliner?
Yeah,
or-
it's
okay.
middling basically. It was doing 25 minutes. I'm about 15 minutes into my set, and then the crowd just maybe 10 to 12 minutes in, and I feel the crowd just like not really into it. So like I was like, all right, I'll try and do some crowd work. What happened is
Look
it
at
was
this guy in front. He sucks.
it was a 40th birthday party, and it was a surprise party for
Oh,
this lady.
man.
Okay, so all of her friends and family are there.
Right.
In the parking lot that this place, Captain Joe's, is located at, behind that is a hotel, basically. And I guess somebody in the family had money and bought everybody who was there a hotel room for the night. So this 40th birthday party is going on, and then it's been going on for a few hours before the comedy show even starts. We're the last part of the night for
Right.
them, like the last piece of entertainment. Like, so they'd all been lightly drinking because there's kids at the party, and then finally, when we get there, like they go, and a few of the adults are like, "All right, we're gonna take all the kids to the hotel and get them out of here so the comedy show could start." There's about 30 minutes in between them taking the kids to the hotel and the comedy show starting. People just start doing shots, slamming
hell
beers
yeah.
back. Yeah, you'd think, right?
We're getting Joe's.
but
We're getting
this-
Joe's Bar and Grill
yeah,
drunk tonight.
it's like they're getting trashed.
Right.
Like they'd already been drinking basically. And then so they're already a little bit tipsy, and now they're fucked up. And like so they're just not into what I'm telling them. They are not into it. And I realized I was like, I'll try to do crowd work. And then like I tried doing crowd work, it wasn't really going well. I was like, I'll try to talk to the birthday girl. Let's try to talk to the birthday girl.
Makes sense.
She's obliterated. She is, and I didn't realize this at first. I'm trying to crowd work with her, and I think she just can't understand what I'm like. Like I can't. I
Just
thought like
speak
I
louder.
thought. Yeah, I was like I thought I couldn't understand her or something, and then I realized like oh she just doesn't make sense.
Right.
That's what's going on
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
She's too drunk to make sense. And then so
Shoot, been
finally,
there.
yeah. And then so finally, like I just sort of give up on trying to talk to her, and like I'm trying to like just get her to quiet down at this point, and so I tell her to shut the fuck up, and like, and then so the rest of her friends and family don't like that.
Right. Yeah, I
you
can
just
see that.
disrespected the birthday girl. Who do you think you are? You're our court jester.
Wow.
Yeah, like, and so her
Dance,
friends and
idiot.
family, they just like they start telling me to shut up, and they tell me like, you suck, you're terrible, get off stage, bring up the next comic, quit comedy. They're yelling everything you could yell that you could think of, like in a nightmare situation that you don't want somebody yelling at you while you're doing comedy. They yelled this at me, and there's a dude in the front who's not even just yelling it at me, he's just basically talking to me, be like, dude, get off stage, quit doing, just stop, man, just
I'm
stop.
sorry.
Like, everybody else is yelling at me, and he's just talking mean things to me.
He's
like,
wrap it up.
yeah, he's having a one-sided conversation in the front, just telling me to stop doing this, and I'm trying not to acknowledge him. I look off to the side of the stage where the host is the guy who runs the show.
Yeah.
Like and he also hosts it, but he booked the show as well.
Right.
His name's Sal, and then the headliner is Zach, who's my friend who brought me there. And Zach has this look on his face like, I fucked up. And, like, I mean, that's the only way I can describe it. Like, and then Sal looks at me and very encouragingly just looks over and yells. He's like, keep going, man. You got it. Like, just very encouragingly.
One time for the people in the back, you know?
Yeah,
Okay.
and he just yells it at me, and I was like, I do got it. And, like, I did 10 more minutes and finished my 25
Really?
minutes of just eating shit for straight 25 minutes. Like, for 10 minutes straight, it was just people yelling at me, telling me to get off stage, that I'm not funny. Like,
So
it was real awful.
in the aftermath, does that like when that whole situation is over? Do you feel stronger or way worse than you did?
I would feel terrible about myself.
But he said he kept
I mean-
going though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So-
mean, because they're paying me money to do a
Word
certain
up.
amount of time,
Word
and
up.
like, you know, I'm gonna do my job one way or another.
Right.
It's like,
yeah, we're not
you're-
prorating this
Yeah,
session.
you're.
You know?
It's like you're paying me to be here for a certain amount of time,
Right.
to do a certain amount of time. I'm not gonna jip you out of that. They're paying
Right.
me good money to be there.
Right.
If it was like shit money, I wouldn't have cared.
We're,
really.
talking, we're talking Joe's Bar and Grill in
Yeah,
Whitmore
it's-
Lake. They are
it's-
caked in dough. Like
It's-
the Hostess
hey,
factory, son.
It's, you know, I mean, $100 for 25 minutes isn't bad.
No,
you know
not
what
at
I mean?
all.
It like I could have done just 15 and still got paid the full thing, but I wouldn't have felt right about it. At the end of the day, like I knew it was going to be a nightmare story either way.
Yeah,
so it's like
you
I
gotta
might
keep
as well
doing
be
it.
able to say that I finished my time at
Right.
the end of this.
I would let somebody just straight up berate me for $100 for 25 minutes.
Listen,
You're ugly, you're bald,
Yeah.
you're stupid.
I be like, yep, hand me that hundo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd like it in all singles, please.
That's
so I
how
can
it was,
count it.
man. It was real bad. That's the worst one I ever had. And it's like that story where you always hear comedians talking about it, being like, oh, yeah, there's going to be a nightmare story. There's going to be one of those times where it's just terrible and people are going to be yelling at you. And, like, you always know it's coming as a comedian, but the day that it happens, you never expect it
Right,
to
for sure.
happen. Like, you know that day is going to come, but you're never prepared for that day when it comes.
Right. See, I could see that. Like when you really trust in your ability, it's like you can hear about stuff like that for years, but it's like, man, I
When you
understand,
least
but,
expect it.
but I'm dope.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna worry about
I
that.
feel like the writing was on the wall with that one, though. Joe's Bar and Grill in
And-
Whitmore Lake and a 40-year-old birthday party or
the,
whatever.
the surprise party.
So yeah.
That's that. Yeah,
I would love to
that's,
hear their side of it. Like
They
this
basically-
asshole comedian.
To put it in
told-
perspective, by the end of it, the birthday girl was like walking on stage at the headliner set and like begging him to like put cake in her face, and like she begged him for like 5 minutes while he's trying to tell her to get off the stage, and she's like, "I own this party. Like, this is my birthday
She's
party."
trying to request a song.
Yeah.
Ma'am, this is not the DJ
This isn't
booth.
what this
So
is.
yeah, he ends up putting cake in her face because she's begging for it, and like he's like, "I don't have cake," and like she gets off the stage, goes to grab the cake, the whole cake, not like a slice of cake, and like grabs the whole cake and is like, "Put it in my face," and he's like, "You asked for it," like, and he just
Wow.
does it, and I was like, they wanted court jesters, is what they wanted.
Right,
they
right.
didn't want
Yeah,
comedians.
that's wild.
Yeah.
So then, all right, here's my burning question. Like, how does a comedian like navigate the now? You
Yeah,
know
how
what
do
I
you get
mean?
started?
Well, not
right?
even that. I'm just talking about like you know where the
culture.
The level of offense is higher than it would have been
Oh,
5
sure.
to 10 or 15 years ago.
I think a lot of that's bullshit. I think that's stuff you're fed by the media.
Word
I don't
up.
think it's fully like that. Like, I think there's definitely spaces that are like that, but they're few and far between. And you know where they're going to be when they're going to be there. Like, the places you would guess that are like that are like that. But most places are not. Like, the places you're going to find that are like that is, like, little bars in Lansing and stuff where college kids hang out and only college kids. Like, that's the places you're going to find this. Like, I don't find it anywhere else. People aren't really sensitive to that stuff.
When they
It's
come
like,
to a comedy show, they know what to expect, right?
yeah, and it's like, yeah, for the most part, it is. And, like, occasionally you will get that, and you'll get, like, a room that's more sensitive to stuff. And, like, it's not even usually the PC type stuff that people are sensitive to. The stuff that people tend to be more sensitive to, in my experience, is, like, the things that are closer to home for them. Like, if you start talking about death, or, like, I have, like, a couple jokes about heroin because, like, I knew people that were into that shit from
Right.
where I'm from. I'm from Waterford. Like,
Right.
that was just part of the culture there, unfortunately. Like, it was never anything that I got involved with, but I knew people who OD'd. I knew that shit. Like, it was just, I knew that culture was around.
Right.
And so,
Yeah,
like,
dude,
it's
heroin's
something.
hilarious.
Yeah, I found a way to. Hey, I got jokes about it. All right,
Wait.
and it's a reference to it, but it's like
Wait.
you'll notice
Yeah.
people will, like, tense up when you just bring up certain topics, and it's not even the things you're saying; it's the topics you're touching.
Right,
on,
right.
I
Sure.
think like.
Hey, what? We got to actually start wrapping it up. We ran a little late on the last one. I apologize. I'd love to have you come back on again. Is that something
I
you'd like
see
to
how
do?
it is. All
No,
right, you know.
dude. No, well,
I'm
yo,
just kidding.
Straight up, we get the studio time for an hour, and when it's up, it's like we need to wrap
I
it
get
up.
it, man.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
apologize. Would you like to come back though?
I'd love to, man.
Yeah, I feel like see that's why I get so frustrated because at 30 minutes we're just starting to get going, right? And then it's like, ah, shit. But what are your dates coming up?
Man, I don't have a lot of in town stuff right now. I just got some
Yeah, we're
feature
international,
gigs.
too.
Yeah, I got some
It's
feature.
the internet, baby.
Big
Yeah,
in
I got-
Japan, right? Tokyo Disneyland, son.
Oh, they're big in Japan. Let me plug my Japan dates then real quickly. Yeah. No, I don't know, man. I'm
Bill's all you can eat sushi, Waterford, Michigan.
I guess this won't be out before this weekend. This weekend I'm at Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle for like one of the nights this weekend. I'm doing 2 shows there.
well, we're doing
with
live
Bobby
too,
Collins.
so
Okay, so this Saturday with Bobby Collins at I'm emceeing that show at Mark Ridley's here in Royal Oak.
where can people learn more about your comedy and check you out online?
Social media at I am Kyle Forsyth. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter. I don't touch Twitter much, or Facebook. It's just / I am Kyle Forsyth. Everything's
Okay.
I am Kyle Forsyth.
That's good. You
It's-
locked down the market on that one.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I did that and had it consistent across all social
Word up.
media. Yeah. And I usually post upcoming shows and stuff there. But I mean, as far as plugging stuff goes, May 19th at Detroit Shipping Company, we have Lisa Traeger
Bet.
coming there. That's gonna be it's $18 for tickets. She's been on Netflix's The Degenerates, which was like the dirty specials. It was the dirty 30-minute specials on Netflix with like Joey Diaz and like Christina Pajitsky and like lots of big comics. Brad
Tom
Williams.
Segura.
Yeah, well, Tom
Well,
Segura's wife. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But yeah,
Who's,
so
who's
she
your
was on
favorite
there.
comic right now?
Favorite. Honestly, you just said his name, Tom Segura.
Yeah,
Honestly,
absolutely, dude. Sure.
I enjoy watching Segura because he's so great at telling stories and putting punchlines in those stories. Like
Yeah.
he's
Is
so
that
good
mostly
at writing
stories on Netflix?
Yeah,
Or is
he has
that Bert
mostly
Kreischer?
stories, completely normal. And he has the most recent one that he released, and it's just one word and starts with a D, and I forget what it is.
All right. We'll check
but
it out.
doesn't
But look
matter.
up
Yeah.
Tom Segura.
Yeah, check out
Yeah.
Tom Segura specials. He really needs the plug.
Well,
I'm
I'm
not sure
hoping-
he's selling enough tickets at all
Yeah.
those theaters
Yeah,
across
right,
the
right.
country.
I'm hoping that if we say his
Yeah.
name enough times, it'll pop up in the Google search,
Yeah.
and then maybe he'll come on. So
Lisa
Maybe he'll
Traeger-
get that Netflix money.
Yeah, Lisa Traeger, May 19th at Detroit Shipping Company, and then Motor City Comedy Festival is September 19th through 22nd. You can check out all that information at MotorCityComedyFest.com. We have all the headliners, tickets available, all that info at our website.
we want to
So,
do
yeah.
a TDL comedy show. Would you be interested in performing?
Yeah.
All right, bet. So, Kara, you got anything?
Regular old man. I got a big thing of Easter bunny chocolate I gotta eat.
That's because I
So,
love you, dog.
That's right. So
Yeah.
everyone, you're gonna help me with that. In theory, I love you, America. Keep it up.
Yes, sir.
The good stuff.
Yes,
Keep
sir.
the good stuff up.
And we're playing out a track by Mr. Friend of the show, Mr. It's a song
He's
called
the homie.
Yeah, the homie. He's got a song called The Payoff. He is opening for Epic Beardmen. Check out his website. I think it's heyitsmr.com. But just check it out. It's a phenomenal song. Gets me hype as hell. So one love. Until next time, I appreciate you. Buy a shirt. TheDetroitLocal.com/shop. I love you all.
Let me tell you something. There is no nobility in poverty.